Hi guys, and welcome to the Ice Have It. I'm just doing a very impromptu video here. I wanted to just, I don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to honor those who were lost at 9/11 and those who survived and are forever changed. I had worked in the Pentagon at the beginning of my career and was working down the street in a high-rise on 9/11. And to be able to see the Pentagon, which is not only iconic to the nation, but very iconic to me because I worked there for 6 years, to see it burning and smoke pouring from it and all that from my office was very traumatic. I was a federal employee. We were released about 10:15, I think. It took everybody hours to get home. Luckily, I lived very close. But I just remember, being so emotional. And I was listening to Howard Stern, who was on terrestrial radio back then. And he was right there in Manhattan, where the worst of it was happening. And he didn't shut down. He just kept going. And people were calling in and giving on the spot reports and stuff, and it was so incredibly emotional. But I held it together, and I got home, and I pushed myself back against the door to close the door, and just lost it. So I gave myself a couple of minutes to just, boo-hoo and just let it out. And then I walked across the living room, put my stuff down, and I saw lights on my answering machine. So I went over and I hit the button, and there went the tears all over again, because my mother was on the phone crying. Both of my brothers or their wives called. Some friends I hadn't heard from in years called, worried that I was still in the Pentagon. So yeah, even though I was not in New York, it was still an extremely traumatic day for me, as I'm sure it was for most people who were adult on 9/11, 2001. So I just wanted to, mark this day as a day in our history that we hope will never be repeated, and to honor the people, especially the firefighters and police, who, as people were, panicked, running out of the building, ran in the building to try to save people. And it was an amazing day, and I remember watching it unfold on TV, and my boss had a TV in his office. And then, of course, when I got home, I watched the footage, and it was just so traumatizing. And then I think the plane in Philadelphia went down maybe an hour or so later. I don't remember, but yeah, that is another whole story of heroism, that the passengers took over that plane and chose to die rather than let that plane get to its intended target. So I get emotional talking about it, because that day was just, I don't know when I have been so charged with emotion for like days at a time. It was a huge deal. For those of you who weren't alive yet, and I know I have a lot of younger viewers, please do some reading. I think it should probably be in your history books by this point, about it, and honor this day as well. Thank you all. Take care, be well, and always be yourself.